For 30 years, I pastored in our church and I loved it. Well, most of it anyway. But the idea of retirement, well, after a while, it never sat well with me. It felt like an ending, not a transition. Then I discovered something powerful, which I want to share with you today. Did you know the idea of retiring at 65 is a relatively recent invention? It started pretty well in the late 19th century with Chancellor Bismarck in Germany, who introduced a pension system. The retirement age was initially set at 70. But I remember hearing one of my friends say, retirement is a broken concept. And I thought, that's it. It resonated with me so much. And the reason is because I wanted to have purpose in my life after pastoring. I mean, I love pastoring. The sense of mission, the sense of fulfillment, the sense of purpose is kind of core to what you do as a pastor. And I just didn't want to retire and go and play bowls or golf. Nothing wrong with bowls or golf. I enjoy both of them. But I wanted purpose in my life. I wanted meaning. I wanted to be doing something that really had a sense of benefit to others as well as myself. So I decided to do this. Instead of retiring, I came up with a new word. I'm going to not retire. I'm going to redesign. I'm going to redesign my life. And at 58, I did that. I redesigned my world and my life. I left pastoring and started grow a healthy church. And here we are 13 years later, still rolling on. And last year at 71, I redesigned my life again. I wanted to reduce the amount of travel. I wanted to spend more time at home. And do I still travel for ministry? Absolutely. Yes. Cool. Call me. I'll come to your church. But I introduced a new consult retreat concept called The Getaway, which brings pastors to me here at the beautiful, iconic Scarborough Beach in Western Australia. So how do you make the shift at various times from a thought of retirement to redesigning? Well, I think there's a few hints I want to give you about this. Hint number one, stop using the word retirement, even if you're 30 or whether you're 60. Stop using the word retirement. I think it is a broken concept. And start using the word redesign or something similar, reconstruct, whatever you want to call it. But change your thinking and you will change your life. No doubt about that. Retirement to me feels like a passive thing where you stop and you rest and you don't do anything almost except golf and bowls. But redesign has this sense of proactivity and intentionality that I'm going to take charge. I'm not going to let retirement happen to me. I'm going to engineer a redesigning of my life and be in control of that. And that sense of autonomy that the word brings, I think is really healthy for your mental and emotional state. The second hint I want to give you is take some time to brainstorm with your spouse, with some friends, what you could do in your 60s and 70s. Now, you may be watching me today, listening to me today and thinking, well, I'm only 37. Do I really need to think about this now? Well, yeah, because you're going to turn 60, you're going to turn 70, you're going to turn 80. More than likely, you'll turn 90. So what sort of things kind of interest you? For pastors who have huge experience in church world, you could do interim pastoring, pastoral supervision. You could do what I've done, coaching, consulting, and mentoring. You could move into the care industry. If you really love shepherding people and caring for people, you've got that real strong pastoral gifting. The opportunities in the care industry are huge today, in chaplaincy, in all sorts of areas of industry, not just the care industry. You can jump into chaplaincy. You might want to get a job like a mate of mine after 25 years of pastoring. He's driving trucks in the mining industry. You may want to go into content creation, writing, blogging, posting things on social media, starting a YouTube channel. Here you go. Or you may want to start a business. I've got a mate who pastored for over 30 years who now runs a renovation business. And one of his main things he does is he sells tiny homes. I mean, it's amazing what you can do in redesigning your life. Now, if you're thinking about transition and succession, why don't you take the 1-minute quiz that's in the description below about succession and transition. Also, check out my succession consultancy, which has a link for that as well. If you're thinking at that stage, yep, I'm ready to move on and I need to think about succession. And my third and final hint and tip for you in moving from retirement to redesigning is start planning now. Don't wait until you're in your 60s and thinking, oh man, how do I get a pension? Don't wait for that. Why don't you spend a day? You might be only 35, but I don't think it matters. You might be 65, whatever age you're at. Spend a day prayerfully reflecting about your 60s, about your 70s, about your 80s. What do you want it to look like? I think the fact that I started thinking about this early and started planning and mulling on it really set me up for a brilliant redesign of my life. Well, I think it's brilliant anyway. I love it. You might want to go to a retirement conference and just see what's in the air, what's in the atmosphere. You might want to broaden your horizons, thinking about what are the options out there rather than, oh, well, my dad retired at 65 and joined the bowls club and played a bit of bridge, and that was it until he died at 87. I mean, reshape your thinking. Planning mitigates fear because you'll have some anxieties about purpose, about finances, about proactively spending your day in a helpful way to others. Face your fears, and planning is a great way to face those fears. It's not the total answer, but it does get you moving in the right direction. Also, why don't you go and talk to a financial planner? I asked a friend of mine who their financial planner was and would they recommend him. Been to see him, and he's been so helpful to me in planning our finances at this stage of life. Talk to a financial planner. Find a good one. Go and see a few of them. See the ones that you really connect with, and maybe some highly recommended by your friends. Your ministry, your pastoral ministry, doesn't have to finish in your 60s. Your sense of purpose doesn't have to wilt and die in your 60s and your 70s. You can redesign your life and discover a whole new season of fruitfulness.